everyone? Super freaking psyched about this. We got Athena Massey. Oh boy, you've seen her. Oh, look at this. We've seen her on Seinfeld. You've seen her on Star Trek, Voyager. My God, I mean, Red Alert 2. Just keep on going, keep on. She's done so many things. Welcome. It's awesome to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's awesome to be here with you guys.
Thank you. It's such an honor, such an honor. Oh my gosh, super psyched about it. Yep.
So, how is it over there right now? How's the weather?
Well, I'm glad I have electricity today. My whole Thanksgiving was in the dark. Our weather is really, really windy, and I live in a high fire zone. So I woke up to Thanksgiving morning with zero electricity. So no hot showers, no cooking.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's okay. I went out to Starbucks and we ordered Chinese food, ate that by candlelight, and hit the movies.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. Well, yeah, it's pretty cool over here, but we know you've been in a lot of movies, lots of TV shows, and other things like that. What was one of your favorite roles that you ever played?
My favorite. It might be hard for you to find it, but it's a film called Shadow of a Scream. It was also released under another title, Criminal Pursuit. And I like that because my favorite genre of films is psychological thrillers.
Nice.
Love those.
Nice.
And that it is. Also, it was a cross between Seven and Silence of the Lambs, which when both of those films came out, two of my favorites. So loved that I got to play the, police officer tracking down a serial killer. So it's very dark, obviously psychological thriller. And we shot it in Ireland, even though it was supposed to be taking place somewhere East Coast. I don't remember where, but we shot it in Ireland, and I love to travel. So I got to travel and work on a psychological thriller. And my co-stars were great, which they not always are. So loved it for all of that. And the crew was amazing. It was a blast. Lots of great memories.
Nice. Love it. I will definitely check that out for sure.
If you can find it, it's a tough one to find. It is an independent, and it's also on VHS. So I don't know if you still own one of those. Unfortunately, they didn't put it out on DVD.
I got you. I hear you. Sweet. All right. Well, okay, look. I'm a massive Seinfeld fan. Enormous.
Okay.
And I got to ask you, how was it working with Mr. Jerry Seinfeld?
Oh, he was awesome. It's funny because my agent had warned me. He said, if you're shooting in front of a live audience, don't take it personally. Sometimes Jerry's just so focused that he doesn't really, might not give the attention, to a guest star that you might normally expect. And I said, no worries, but thanks for the warning. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And when I was shooting with him, Jerry looked at me and he goes, so how, I think he said something along the lines of, how's the industry been treating you, or what do you think of the industry? And I said, like anyone, sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with it. And he goes, well, I hope today's not a hate day. But it wasn't. It was great working with him. And that's the one and only time that I walked onto a movie set, and instead of it just being like, the regular run of the mill, which showing up to work, but that was the only time that I felt like I walked into my TV screen, because I just kind of looked around, and instead of seeing the actors that I'm working with as just fellow actors, it's like, oh my God, that's Kramer over there with craft servicing. So I had that weird feeling that I walked into my television set.
Wow.
That's so cool. Yeah. Heck yeah.
So you were a big fan before you was on the show, huh?
Actually, first I wasn't. I remember when everyone was going crazy over Seinfeld. I think I never got into that. I was paying more attention to Friends and other shows. And I'm like, what's the big deal about this? I think I saw like 1 or 2 episodes and it didn't click yet for me.
I got you.
And then I was away on a weekend with a bunch of friends, and somebody had some VHS tapes and I couldn't sleep. And so I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just pop this in. Of course, thinking Seinfeld, I'll fall asleep, right? That's just what I thought. And I put it in, I went, oh my gosh, this is hysterical. This is so funny. I'm loving the ensemble. I'm loving the cast. I'm loving the energy. So I watched like one after the next, after the next, after the next.
Nice.
My friends wake up and they're like, God, you got up early. And I'm like, no, I never went to sleep. And I go, do you have any more tapes? Do you have any more of this? And so then just binged, and this was, before Netflix and that, but I binged them all, and it was great. So then when I was offered the role to come in and play a love interest of Jerry, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Absolutely. So I was so happy to be to be a whole part of the Seinfeld world.
Oh, that's so freaking cool. I hear you.
I will say I don't look at peas quite the same anymore.
Of course. Yeah. Only one at a time.
Exactly. And I think that of all of the Seinfeld girlfriends, I'm not positive, but I think I was the only one that got a second chance. Because, he's always breaking up with people for silly reasons anyway.
Right.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Touching him in the movies and eating my peas one at a time.
I hear you.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, did you ever get to meet Larry David?
He wasn't on set, so I didn't get a chance to meet him.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. Heck yeah, I hear you.
What about some of the other cast members there?
Definitely, because I remember sitting in the makeup chair, and George was next to me, and it was funny because I was like, "Oh, that's George." Like, again, it's funny because normally you don't. It's co-stars. It's like you being at work, and it's the people that you're used to working with, even if someone came from a different office or something. But like I said, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's George." I'm on the Seinfeld.
That's so cool. Yeah, Jason Alexander. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, so I gotta ask.
And I will say, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I know in this show, she's kind of like one of the guys. But she was stunningly beautiful. I think they really kind of played down her beauty, for that, so that she was one of the guys. But just stunning, yeah. And everybody, it was an honor for me to be a part of Seinfeld.
Nice. And honestly, I had a crush on her, so yeah. I did. Yep. All right, so I gotta ask you. All right, now this is up to you though. Would you be cool with playing a Seinfeld trivia game? That's up to you now. You don't have to if you don't want.
I almost brought a bottle of whiskey, and I thought we might as well turn it into a drinking game because I'm going to make a fool out of myself.
No.
Except I would just be schnockered.
You don't have to, though. You do not have to.
I know. Well, how difficult are you going to make the questions, though?
I picked ones out that I feel are not too bad. Not too hard.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you 3.
Okay.
And if I just fail, we'll stop at 3.
All right,
one right, then maybe we'll go to 5. How's that?
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. All right. All right. Let's.
I'm like sweating now.
It is all good. I think you'll get it. I think you'll get it.
Hands down. Okay.
All right. I think you'll get it, though. I really do.
Yeah,
all right. Who says it to whom? You're pushing your luck, little man.
I would think that that's Jerry saying that to George.
Okay, I got you. That's
right?
okay. That's okay. It was actually, it was the soup Nazi to George.
Oh, you know what? Okay. Well, anyway, I pictured me with the soup Nazi at a convention, at an autograph signing convention. As I was walking out, I see this guy sitting here with just a blank table. Normally, the actors have like headshots. We've got, snapshots from different, films and television shows we've worked on. And there's nothing on the table, and there's a few soup ladles. Because I look over and I'm like, who the fuck put soup ladles on there? Right? And then he looks at me, and then he's got his mustache, and he picks one up, and I went, oh. And I was like, you're the soup Nazi. He's like, yeah. And I go, you're supposed to bring photos. He's like, but I signed this. And I'm like, okay.
Nice. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's one strike.
That's okay, though. But see, you knew it was the George, so you knew that, Let's see. How about... somebody in the group says he experienced, quote unquote, significant shrinkage. Who was that?
George.
you got it.
Hey, that one right.
Woo!
You a couple.
All right, how about who peed on Jerry's sofa?
Oh, God, I guess I missed that one. That's no bueno.
You want me to give you a hint?
Character, it's not a dog, right?
No. You want me to give you a hint?
I'm going to guess Kramer.
No. It's okay, though. He dated her dad
One of
worked.
her girlfriends?
Yeah, her dad worked at the restaurant doing the dough and everything. Like, and he's like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I might have missed that one then.
That's okay,
I
Pop.
might have missed that one.
I remember he said Poppy's too sloppy.
Okay. So wait, so I've two now, right?
That's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
2-1. Okay.
Let's see. Elaine accuses Mr. Littman of stealing her idea when he opens up a unique kind of pastry shop. What makes it unique?
Oh, I have no idea.
That's okay. That's okay. It was the muffin tops. You remember that? Did you see that?
Okay.
Yeah.
There are places that do that where you get just the muffin tops, and
Muffin
then there's
top.
the ones where you get just the little holes.
Yep.
The dough.
Yep.
A question for you: who carried around a picture of a model in their wallet as bait to look more desirable for the other ladies?
George. I remember that one.
You think it works in real life?
I hear you. I hear you.
What, did he do that in real life, you say?
No. Sometimes people,
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah,
try to impress you, stuff like that,
Oh, okay.
to make them look more desirable.
I hear you.
All right.
Yep.
So I got 3 wrong. Wait, I'm at 3 wrong now, right? So I'm out.
It's all good.
I'm tapped out. Okay, 3 strikes, I'm out.
You can do some more if you want to.
You guys are just like digging me into a grave.
No, it's just for fun.
I feel bad to be like, oh.
I mean, put it this way: if you thought of ones that I'm sure I would get wrong, so I mean, even though it's all
Okay,
good.
who wore the puffy shirt?
Jerry.
And do you know where it is now?
Ooh, you might have got me on that one now.
We just talked about the puffy shirt.
We did actually. You got me on that one actually.
It's actually in a museum.
Really?
Oh.
Yes, it is. You'll have to look that up.
Oh, look at you getting.
Yeah. You're going wrong. Okay. What candy was dropped into, I don't know who, but during surgery?
Right.
One of the characters was looking over and had dropped by accident a candy
Right.
that went into the person being operated on.
Right.
What
It
was
was Kramer, and it was a junior mint.
There you go. Who was being operated on?
Oh, shoot. Okay, I think you got me on that one. I don't know that one. I forgot that.
Me either. I forgot. Was it someone that Elaine was dating? Maybe? I don't remember.
I don't actually remember either. Yeah, that's a good question though. I don't remember either.
Now, he's the one that's seen like every episode. I haven't seen them all. So
Yeah, that's
Haven't
okay.
seen them all?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to see. And then with time, you kind of forget because now you're watching other shows. And yeah, like I kept thinking it was a milk dud, but you're right. It is a junior mint.
Junior mint. Junior mint.
Junior mint.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's classic. Yep.
Well, all right. Well, to get off of the Seinfeld a little bit, tell us, was there any cool things about working on the set of Star Trek?
Well, yeah, just working on the set of Star Trek is pretty damn cool. Yeah, that alone was pretty damn cool. I will say, so of course you get booked on Star Trek and you're thinking, cool, what kind of alien or, whatever. Well, I guess obviously I knew because, of the part, but I wanted to know what it was going to look like. Wasn't what I thought it was going to look like. But because the outfit, I kind of feel like I look like the Jolly Green Giant's daughter. I don't know. Those of you that know who the Jolly Green Giant was. But it definitely took a couple of hours to get into it because the headpiece, I call it lettuce. It was some sort of like fabric that got woven, but it had to be spirit gummed to my head. And spirit gum is what they use to put like a mustache on guys or beards, sideburns, that kind of facial hair, things like that. And spirit gum, it kind of looks and feels like fingernail polish going on. And then trust me, that stuff is glued to your head. Wow. So you can't just take it off when, the day is over, you've worked 12, 16 hours, you're exhausted, everything itches. You can't take it off. It now has to have a remover that gets kind of put up under there and then very slowly. And you're feeling like all of your hairs and part of your skin coming off. Maybe not coming off, but you feel your hairs pulling.
Right.
So it takes a while to get out of that. And then that headpiece that was on me, it was, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it looked like someone took jute or like rope, or twine and unraveled it and then dyed it blonde to create that, French twist thing. So I've got the rope type hair, the lettuce type head thing, the spray painted spots, through here, or airbrushed, not spray paint. Sorry, movie magic here, airbrush.
Oh, it's all good. Oh, yeah, it's all good.
And so trying to get out of everything at the end of the day, it was like, ugh. Or, through when we were shooting, if anything itched, which it always did, I'm just sitting here like stabbing myself because you can't put your fingers up under there and itch or anything or scratch.
Wow. Yeah.
But and my costume was nothing in comparison to some of these actors that are sitting in makeup for 2, 3, somewhere even 5 to 7 hours. Craziness with, prosthetics and just everything they needed.
Wow.
But just to be on set, just to look at the special effects, and just see the shelves and shelves of stuff is just to be there is cool. I don't think I took a picture. Maybe I wasn't allowed. Probably wasn't allowed. But just to be able to see that and just to be on the set and it was awesome. Nice.
Heck yeah.
Was you able to meet anybody from some of the main cast members?
Did you say beat or meet?
Oh, meet.
Oh, meet. Oh, okay, because I was going to say I didn't really do stunts in this one. Yes. So Belana Torres, was in the mornings getting our makeup and hair and everything done in the morning, and obviously just everyone that you see me on screen with.
Okay.
Neelix, Tuvok, Garrett Wang, everybody. Yeah, everyone I got to work with was great.
Heck yeah. Honestly, he's the Trekkie right here. This man right here is the Trekkie.
Have you ever been to any of the Star Trek conventions?
I haven't.
You haven't? Oh, so I've done 2 or 3 now, Star Trek Las Vegas. And it's a lot of fun. It's great. It was very overwhelming at first because of the different conventions that I've appeared at. Usually it's 2 days, 3 days. This was like a whole week, and which is really long. So for me, energetically, I really have to pace myself. But it was great just to see all the costumes of the people that come, how creative they are. And some of them are in a different costume every day. Some it's one costume for the whole time. But it's amazing. And just to be able to see the people that have really participated in all of the shows from the original, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, just all. It's amazing.
Wow.
Heck yeah. That is cool as crap. It really is.
The big universe.
Heck yeah. Well, I got to ask. You were on Nutty Professor. So I got to ask, how was it working with Mr. Eddie Murphy?
So not a lot of, he's not on set very often because it takes a really long time talking about, prosthetics and makeup and wardrobe just to get into the fat suit. And it's, there's gloves, fat hands that go on him and the pieces and the wardrobe, right. Moving, walking. And he gets really, really hot and sweaty naturally wearing all of that. So he stays in an air-conditioned space, as comfortable as possible for as long as possible. And, most of the time it's the stunt double that's on set. And of course he has one is Buddy Love and one is Sherman. And it was also cute because there's one director's chair for him to sit in when he's Buddy Love. And of course a triple size for him to sit in when he's Sherman. He can't sit in the same chair for both characters.
Classic.
Right? Which normally an actor would be able to.
Right.
But so he's not on set obviously when he's playing Sherman for very long, and when he's playing Sherman, huge AC vents are blasting on set to try to keep Eddie as cool and comfortable as possible, because otherwise he would just be melting. Right. But now imagine that all the rest of the cast and the crew are bundled up and just well, the crew can be wearing gloves and hats and scarves and jackets and all of this to be as comfortable as possible, whereas in front of the camera, like, I am crazy cold. I remember having like a robe on, and right before we're getting ready to shoot, would have to drop that. And then you just have to pull it together. And even though you're freezing, you can't have your, face chattering, and you can't be shivering and shaking.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah, a lot of the times people don't realize actors are acting a lot more than you think we're acting because of just the environments that we're in.
Wow.
Being on a I would have never even thought about that.
Yeah. I would never. Yeah.
Yeah. There's times like so often when I almost feel like sometimes you just can't even act because of what you're going through. There was a time when I was working on Shadow of a Scream. Wait, no, it wasn't that film. It was Not of This Earth 2, Final Conflict, I think. I shot that also in Ireland right afterwards. But in that, I remember doing a scene where I was a newlywed. We had just had a car crash, and it's pouring rain, and I'm crawling on the ground to my new husband was killed in the car wreck. So this is the scene. Well, in reality it is late at night, so it is freezing ass cold. I'm wearing this thin, long dress, which might as well be like a flimsy nightgown because there's no warmth whatsoever.
Right.
It's movie rain, which means I've got the rain. Well, in order for you to really see the rain, sometimes they add a little bit of milk to it so that the rain has some color. Otherwise, it could be raining and the camera just doesn't pick it up. Right. So I'm in the mud, I'm in the cold, I'm shaking, I'm shivering, the rain is going, and now it's burning my eyes. What? I feel like they might have put something else in it. And of course I'm crying in the scene, but now I'm just so miserable. I'm like, anyway, at one point, I think when the director yelled some sort of direction to me, I'm like, can we just shoot this? I'm miserable. I'm like, just get the shot. I don't remember what emotion he wanted to see more of, and I'm like, you just got to be kidding me. Like, just get it.
Wow. See, I love that here. We don't know that stuff. I love that.
Yeah, that's what we love to hear, is that little stuff that nobody else would know.
Oh, I'll give you another one. Actually, it was on the same film. So I love doing my own stunts because to me, it's just another fun thing to learn. You're always going to get a better shot when the actor themselves is doing the scene.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But of course, we have limits because of safety reason or because of our own fears. So I always prefer to not do fire and glass for safety. So in this film, one of the stunts I had to do was my character falls 15 and a half feet through a skylight and then lands into a swimming pool. Well, I'm pretty athletic, but people don't realize I'm actually afraid of the water. So I thought, great, my character needs to be like relaxed and just flying through the air. And my character would embrace the water because as an alien, it was supposed to be like part butterfly, part jellyfish. So of course the flight in the water, natural for her, not natural for me. So I thought, holy crap, I can't scream when I'm flying through the air, which is what I want to do because the character wouldn't do that. Right. And then when I land in the water, me would want to go plug my nose. Well, I can't do that. And I'm thinking, well, crap, the water's going to go up my nose. I'm going to be flipping out. I'm going to be terrified trying to like doggy paddle to the top. It's not going to look pretty. Right.
Right.
And I keep telling the director, like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm terrified. It's not going to look good. And he goes, well, we're having a really hard time finding a stunt double that will match you. And the camera can't pan all the way down to the fall and the splash and the coming up. Like all of that needs to be the actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
For it to be a really great shot. And he said, if it's a stunt double, then we just put the camera right here at the, at the deck of the pool and just, that's the shot.
Right.
Like it's nowhere near as beautiful. It's nowhere near as dramatic. You can't like, slow-mo it or none of that. So of course the artist in me is like, okay. If I have to face my fear, because I understand it's going to make a much better shot and it's the drama and all of that. And it's just the movie magic. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay, I'll tell you what. I said, I will do that. I will climb 15 feet in the air. I'll fall through the skylight as beautifully and gracefully as possible. I'm just going to suck it up and hope I don't choke and gag as the water's up my nose and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I'll come up like the beautiful jellyfish butterfly that I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And I said, but that means you have to do it too. And the director goes, okay, if that's what it takes, I'll do it. And we shook on it. And I said, okay, if I do it, you do it. He goes, yep. And I go, okay, great. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Made the deal. So, and he shook on it. So working again, it's long hours. We're exhausted. It's the last shot of the day. Mm-hmm. I go flying, and I know I got to do it on one take because once you go from dry to wet, you're wet.
Oh yeah.
There goes all the wardrobe.
Yep.
So we make sure all the cameras are set to get all the different angles. And I'm just like, I got to suck it up and just, I was telling myself, like, I love the water. I love the water. I'm a fish in the water. I'm a butterfly through there. Like I'm trying to psych myself up to be as beautiful and graceful doing this. And I go through, I come up and I'm trying to come up and just look all like beautiful coming up through the water. And even though I want to choke, and they're like, we got it. That's a wrap. And I'm like, wait a minute. Because of course, once the director says that's a wrap, everyone's trying to, and I'm like, no. And I think I grabbed the walkie from him. And I'm like, that is not a wrap. John Purdy is walking 15 feet up the scaffolding. He's flying through. And he was like, no. He goes, everybody's got to go. We're going to go into overtime. I'm like, oh, no. We had a deal.
Yeah.
We had a deal. I'm like, I'm soaking wet. I sucked it up. And I'm like, you're getting your ass up that ladder.
Yep.
I'm like, you're doing it. And everyone's like, yeah. And of course, some people are packing up because they want to go home. But I made him do it.
Nice.
I'm like, give me your wallet, give me your watch. Like, you're going.
Yep, your ass is going. Yep. I love it.
That makes my fears, so do you.
Exactly, yeah.
He wasn't really afraid, but
he went through with it, right? Did all right?
Yeah.
He did. He tried to weasel out of it, though, but yeah.
I hear you. See, I love hearing that stuff. That's so cool, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. And what else?
Well, we was talking about metal earlier. What kind of music are you into?
Oh, you know what? I have a wide range of music. Not a big fan of country, I definitely tell you that. But it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm running, then I want to listen to techno because I want that like beat to just keep me like running. Just that drive. If I'm chilling at home, then, I listen to more like, chill music. I did mention that in high school, I was into punk rock. So definitely loved the grind. And not just the American punk rock. I listened to music from all over the world. Also, and I love world music.
Cool.
I listen to pop, depending on what I'm doing. Used to have XM radio in my car. And I always listen to BPM then, or comedy, because I love stand-up comedy.
Yep.
Guys, I know you're into metal, so I used to always listen to Metallica.
Yeah.
Accept.
Oh, Accept?
Oh, yeah.
I love Accept.
Balls to the walls. Yep.
Oh, they. There you go. There it is.
Yeah. Definitely love Metallica. whatever kind of metal. So I listen to some speed metal. It's been a while though, but
Right.
I listen to all kinds. And of course I love classic rock.
Sweet.
Growing up, my mom was like, a hippie and a biker. So I definitely listen to all kinds of stuff.
Heck yeah. Well, you said classic rock. You like Kansas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're my favorite. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, have you heard Megadeth?
Of course.
Ah, yeah. I like them too. Sweet.
Yeah. Tell me some other bands to listen to.
I like Slayer, even they're out. Yeah, that kind of, yeah.
No Slayer.
Yep. There's so many, yeah. But I do see that from what it looks like, there is a piano behind you.
The baby grand piano.
Ah, yeah.
So my daughter is a singer, songwriter, and piano player, and she's also a hip hop dancer and artist. She paints, sketches, does everything. She's just so creative all the way around. And she's working on her first demo right now.
Oh,
very good.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
She got to audition for America's Got Talent.
Oh.
And now she's working on her first demo.
Awesome.
So.
See, I love to hear that. See, that's the stuff. I love hearing that stuff. That's cool stuff.
Yeah. And then I'm out there once a week now. I just started working with the vocal coach. Finally, I should have probably started that a while ago. But
Cool. Heck yeah.
She is definitely the little musician in the family.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You say a vocal coach for your daughter, right? Not you?
No, well, she works with a vocal coach, obviously, with singing, songwriting, and piano playing. I've started working with her, also with her vocal coach, just for a little bit, just for my voice, because as an actor, I never properly trained my voice.
Oh, okay.
So,
as an actor, I mean, we're always studying, whether it's cold reading, scene study, improv, etc. I never did Shakespeare, but I never took any proper vocal training. And there are many times in working that I would end up losing my voice because I was never taught how to yell properly. And sometimes you have to yell in scenes. And again, if it's late at night, cold weather, under those rain machines, things like that, you're shooting maybe at the ocean. So, and then just using your voice for long periods of time. So I just thought, you know what, it's way overdue for me to actually work on that, just the proper care of my voice, because I want my vocal cords working for me in optimal, as best as they can, for as long as possible.
I hear you. I mean, see, I wouldn't have thought about.
That's something you would never even think about.
I wouldn't have thought about it.
Apparently, I didn't. Yeah. And it's only in seeing my daughter work, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've never been taught how to warm up my voice, how to cool down my voice, how to, like I said, yell. And even just now, like in doing these interviews, I've had so many interviews in this last month, and sometimes I'm talking 1 to 2 hours straight. It's important to warm up and cool down.
I hear you.
Who would have thunk it, right?
There you go. I hear you. Well, I got to ask you, too. All right. We love food. What's your favorite foods?
I love food, too. My favorite is anything that is organic and preferably whole foods, plant-based.
I got you.
Okay.
Definitely. But I love foods from all over the world. I love learning about cuisines from different countries and cultures and seeing how they prepare things, what their spices are. And it's just great when you travel, you find fruits and vegetables. I'm like, oh, we don't have that in America. That's awesome. Now I don't try to smuggle it back in my suitcase, although I have thought about it. But
oh yeah, that'll get you in jail right quick.
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't do it though. I've thought, I'm like, if I could just get the seeds, I can plant my baby.
Yep, I hear you.
But I am learning that as well. I really my yard is very, very tiny, but I would like to start planting more of my own herbs in my backyard, both for medicinal purposes and for, just teas and things like that.
Cool.
Okay.
If I had a bigger yard with sunshine, I would plant more fruits and vegetables and trees, of course, but.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So where are you at now? You're in California, right?
Yeah, so I live in Calabasas, California.
Sweet.
Okay.
Part of Los Angeles.
Sweet.
Okay.
Heck
I'm right
yeah.
outside of Malibu. I lived in Malibu for about 7 years. And so I just moved right outside.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
Where are you guys?
Oh, we're near Atlanta.
Yep.
Atlanta, Georgia?
Mm-hmm. You got it.
I almost died in your city.
What?
Uh-oh.
Almost died in your city.
What?
Oh, no.
So,
What
okay,
happened?
so I told you that I was into punk rock in high school.
Yes.
Right.
So I was with my boyfriend, Eric Melvin from NoFX. Nobody knew the band yet at that point.
Oh,
But
wow.
he was my boyfriend for a while. And so they were traveling. So they were on tour. And they just played at a gig in Atlanta. And I woke up in the morning and noticed that, oh, we're right by these train tracks. And I thought, oh, I remember as a kid, my dad would always give me the little penny that had been ran over by a train. And, it's all flattened.
Right.
A cool little souvenir. And I thought, oh, you know what? I want a souvenir from them. So I had some coins and I didn't have my contact lenses in because I had just woken up. But so I get up and I run over to where the trains are, and there's all these different train tracks, but everything was at a standstill. So I'm squatted down and I'm putting the pennies on the track, thinking, okay, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to wait for the next train to come. Well, as I'm doing that, what I don't notice, because all my friends are back by, by the van and everything,
Right.
they're yelling at me, but I can't really hear them. And when I turn and look, they're just a blur anyway. So I'm like, whatever. Because, they're just kids being loud and crazy is what I assume.
Right.
They're trying to warn me that the train tracks that I'm standing in, that there's a train coming.
Oh,
no.
shit.
So I don't know that. And I'm squatted down and I'm doing this and da-da-da. Well, I can hear a lot of stuff, but it's so loud now that I can't hear my friends, and I'm just hearing like train noise.
Right.
And apparently the train is getting closer and closer, and they're really freaking out and screaming. So finally, my boyfriend Eric comes running towards me. He grabs me, and when he grabs me, there's not even enough time. So he pulls me. So we're now in between. So now the train goes right past us.
Oh,
and another train is coming this way. We don't even have time. We don't even have the width to have a train in front of us and on each side. We literally have to get sideways.
Oh, shit.
And we're sucking in our stomachs.
Oh, my
Because
God.
as the trains are going, and we're starting to do this because the one train now is going faster and faster. And this train is now, another one is coming. And we're like, oh, because our friends are on the other side, the fast moving train. And all I'm thinking is, if there's something sticking out of the train, we're dead. We're sliced.
Yeah.
But because we're in between and we're this way.
Jeez.
So, and we're like that. And I'm sure Eric doesn't want me to say this, but so he starts crying. And and when I see how scared and panicked he is, then I'm more scared and panicked too, because I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
So our friends on the other side, all they know is the train's going, and that's it. So, and trains are long.
Right.
So by the time the slower one in front of us finally stopped, we go across just to distance ourselves from the fast moving train. We're like, oh, and we're freaking out. We're like trying to catch our breath. And we're just like, oh my God, thinking like how close that was. And then once the fast train is gone, now we can see our friends. The news reporters are already there. They had already been notified because the engineer had already phoned in and said that he thought he killed two teenagers.
Yikes. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, that's crazy.
So that was stupid on my part. And I will say, I did go back and I'm like, but my pennies, I need my pennies.
My pennies.
Anyway, whatever the local news, they wrote that up in the newspaper. But I was just like, holy crap, the stupid things teenagers do.
Right.
Oh, we've all done stupid shit, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's great.
For a penny, because
I tell you what, yours is the closest call I've ever heard, though. I can tell you that, though. That shit is freaking crazy.
Yeah, you do not want to be messing around train tracks.
No.
And it's because when they come, they're at this point, it's so that whatever they hit just gets thrown off to one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jeez Louise.
Anyway.
Well, that's pretty cool, though. And you got to travel around with no effects?
Yeah.
That must have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, this was again really early in their career. They weren't obviously as big and didn't have as much experience as they do now. But yeah, so because they were already on tour when Eric and I had met and started dating. So I think I flew out to New York and then went from New York back to LA with them. And then we all lived in Santa Barbara. We all got a house. It was Eric Sandin, the drummer, Eric Melvin, my boyfriend, the guitarist, and I. And then our other two roommates were from a band called the Imps, and also a punk rock band. And so I will tell you, being the one girl with 4 teenage guys and they're all in bands, it was the party house. It was a hangout for all the kids. At the time, it was RKL from Santa Barbara, Rich Kids on LSD. All of the punk rocks out there that know them, and the Descendants, and anyway, fun days.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, so she's totally a punk rock girl.
We're all crazy kids. Yeah, well, I used to help set up gigs and tours across the United States. And I told NoFX then, because nobody really knew them, I said, you guys got to go to Europe. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, you have to go to Europe, because American punk rock bands that will actually spend the time and the money to go there. I said, even if you don't make money, let's say you just break even, it's still worth it. Even if you lose money.
Right.
It's worth it, because it's such a treat for them to have, and maybe not so much now, but at that time. And I said, it's such a treat for them to have the American hardcore bands come over. They're ecstatic. And I said, you will have fans for life. So they went, they had a great time, and they've obviously done well from then on.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Because prior to that, they were having a hard time sometimes booking gigs. They would, if they wanted a gig in LA, they'd say they're from San Francisco. If they wanted to book in San Francisco, they'd say they're from LA, because, people always want, bands from somewhere else. And they could say that, because Fat Mike was living in San Francisco and, Eric and Eric were in LA.
I got you.
So
wow.
You can work that dual citizenship thing.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well, I mean, it may not be in the list, but did you ever run into Rancid?
No, I did not. Didn't run into them.
I got you.
Oh,
I got you.
They're like my favorite of the punk rock bands.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Rancid.
I hear you.
Yeah, haven't run into them. But tons of other bands, and then, like I said, I traveled all around England, Wales, France, Germany.
Wow,
and again,
nice.
At the time, just going to different gigs. Actually, I didn't have money to come home. I had my skateboard and my little army bag. And because I bought a one-way ticket, I didn't have a way to come back. And so they said, no problem, we'll set up a benefit gig. So all my friends that were in bands, we did a benefit gig and didn't raise enough money. So we did a second one. And then I finally got enough money to fly home to surprise my mom for her birthday.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Cool. Heck yeah.
What are you doing in your spare time nowadays?
What you do?
I don't know what spare time is. Well, I'm a single mom to my children. I have an 18-year-old that's now off in college, so that's a little sad. I miss her. She was just home for a week for Thanksgiving. And then my 15-and-a-half-year-old, the musician, so she's still at home. So I have been a full-time stay-at-home mom for my kids, because that, to me, it was a non-negotiable. I want to be here for my children. So I'm always, busy with them, always here for them. And I also have a health and wellness business. I'm super, super passionate about anything and everything having to do with health and wellness. Because to me, without that, nothing else matters.
Cool.
Yeah. So busy with that. I help people, look younger, feel better. And then I'm also a nut for learning things. So I think it's very apropos that I was named after the goddess of wisdom. I'm always educated.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hear you. No, that's cool. That really is. That's really cool. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And I did see your dog go by too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a dog. I currently have a Doberman. I'm in the process of looking for a new home for her though. I am rehabbing her. But, spent tons of time hiking. I live near the Santa Monica Mountains. So I'm always, going on hikes, although a little afraid sometimes of the mountain lions. I don't like the feeling that I'm food. I could be considered food. Yeah, that's always scary. And coyotes, etc.
Right.
The coyotes, I'm not worried about them eating me, but the mountain lions, yes.
Yeah.
They could. Yes.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
But I do love being in nature. So
Sweet.
Hiking and been learning about foraging lately. So that's fun.
That's a good skill.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Well, hello. And after this whole pattern, since we can't say the P word or the P word, that cocoa illness, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really making you rethink, growing your own food and, finding out what you can eat in nature, that kind of stuff.
I hear you. Heck yeah.
I know I had mushrooms in my backyard. I'm like, did I eat those? Did I drink tea? Is that a good one or not a good one?
I hear you 100% on that, for real, yeah.
Well, now,
and I can't wait to get back to traveling, because that in my spare time is one thing that I love to do. Have had the option, or the opportunity, I should say, in so much of my work to travel all over. And I really miss that. I know we all miss that with these last couple of years.
Traveling is amazing, yeah.
Yes, dying to get back out.
Is there any place that you would like to travel? Like just in general? Yeah.
Absolutely. Costa Rica is one place that has been on my list. Australia and New Zealand have been on my list for a long time.
Nice.
So definitely want a good chunk of time to explore there. I do want to go to Peru. I want to do ayahuasca. Speaking of plant medicine, definitely want to go to Peru. I want to, hike Machu Picchu. I want to do an ayahuasca ceremony. There's so many places I want to go. I'd love to go back to Italy. Love. And talk about food. Oh my gosh, Italian food.
Oh yeah.
Boom!
So good. Oh my. I used to eat Italian probably 3 or 4 nights a week.
Nice.
Until I became allergic to garlic.
Oh.
And that killed it for me.
I got you.
So I'm slowly introducing garlic back into my diet, trying to see if I can handle it now, because Italian was definitely my favorite.
Nice.
So I've had to switch over a little more to Vietnamese and Mexican. They don't use garlic so much.
Sweet. Heck yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, I'm with you on Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love pasta.
You cook yourself?
Oh yeah, I cook too. Yeah.
Good. Nice.
I make some awesome Alfredo. All from scratch.
Alfredo's good, yeah. Yeah, I do like Italian, yeah. I gotta say Chinese is my favorite, I guess.
Well, that's what I had for Thanksgiving. We ended up having, since we had no electricity, it was like, okay, it's Chinese takeout.
Hey, there you go, yeah. I like it.
Kind of like in a Christmas Story.
Yeah. Yeah, in Christmas Story, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they had the Chinese. Yeah, they go to a Chinese restaurant at the end there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we usually do that anyway. For Thanksgiving, most of the time I may make the feast, whether it's before, on Thanksgiving, or after, but at some point I usually do, unless we're going to do a big potluck with the family,
Right.
my extended family. But even if we have the typical Thanksgiving feast, there's still one point either before, during, or after Thanksgiving that we always still have Chinese takeout.
Oh, hey, no, I love that. I really, truly love that. Yeah, that's amazing. You can never go wrong with that. Heck yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Athena, and I really mean that. I really, really mean that. It is like a mega honor to be talking. I mean, for real, to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
I
you.
really
Thank
mean
you
that.
for,
Yeah.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Is there anything
Great meeting you guys, and I'm so excited to have you. Or
Oh,
to
that's an honor. It really is. I mean, seriously.
Well, one more thing.
Yep.
Do you have any like movies you're working on, a project, a business, something that you want to tell everybody about?
Not at the moment, because again, I was taking a break to, have and raise my children.
Mm-hmm.
They both also had special needs at the beginning. So that's why, again, the thought of going back, which I originally thought I was going to, then to me became a non-negotiable, because I
Right.
really needed to be here for my kids. And,
Right.
especially with them having special needs, which luckily they no longer have. We've now been able to work through all that.
Oh, okay.
So that's awesome. But so no, now that they're older, part of why I also looked into getting the vocal coach. So now I'm getting the education and training to do more voiceover so that I can continue to do that, still be here close at home, and then just go out for local hire and not break out and do more traveling until my youngest is now driving and a little more independent.
Oh, gotcha. Makes sense. Makes sense. And I commend you for that too. God bless you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough because at first I thought, okay, I'll just take like a 2-year break, thinking, I'll have my puppy, bang out the puppies and then get back to work. But you never know what's going to happen. And because we had medical needs that were definitely unforeseen, and to me, I wasn't going to leave my kids in anyone else's care. So
yeah. Oh no, I commend you.
me, 100% me. No one is going to no one's going to just really pay attention as closely as Mama Bear.
Amen. Yeah, no, I commend you. That's awesome, crap.
So no, I am the one that I take them and pick them up from everything and attend every parent teacher conference, every performance, every practice, everything that they do. So
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I love that. Yeah.
So
Heck yeah.
great.
kids are not available for other things, but and I have definitely missed that whole creativity or creative part of my life. But now I'm able to start getting back into that.
I hear you. Well, heck yeah. Well, you are amazing. You're a sweet person, and you're beautiful. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking to us. I really mean that.
Absolutely, and thank you again for having me on.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And if any of your subscribers want to know where to find me on Facebook and Instagram, you can find me at Athena Massey Official. And on Twitter, it is at Ms. Athena Massey. And my health and wellness business is athenamassey.arbonne.com.
Heck yeah. Freaking love it. Athena, thank you. Have a great one. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take it easy. The Henry-Kern Show would like to thank our friends. Kruse Effects. Slip Check Records. Pick World Guitar Picks.
And of course, Nebulous Music Studios in Royston, Georgia.